Guys, today we are going to be doing a monosteel type Nuzlocke in Pokemon Sapphire. I was inspired by Keeper Plays and Chaotic Meatball to do this challenge, as Keeper also did a similar challenge in Emerald, and Chaotic made a spreadsheet including every type and every game in the franchise for the Nuzlocke community. So as you know, there are no steel type encounters before the first gym, so we are going to use event Pokemon, which are allowed in a Nuzlocke as our true starters. Keeper also did this when attempting his quote-unquote impossible Nuzlocke, which was a fantastic video, by the way. Do check it out. So I grabbed Mudkip so that May doesn't have a future advantage against us, and set out. First, we grabbed our Startays from the Gather More Pokemon campaign event, namely Scyther, Pineco and Mawile, and our first hurdle was Roxanne. So let's jump straight into the battle, shall we? While traversing through the Petalburg forest, the only notable fight was against the Aqua Grunt, who I easily defeated using Scyther. After reaching Rustborough, I grabbed the Cut TM and Quick Claw, and after making preparations, our fight with Roxanne began. She sent out Geodude, and I sent out Mawile, who had learnt Bite by this level. We traded hits back and forth, and Roxanne also healed in between, but we managed to take out the Geodude without taking too much damage in the process. Next, she sent in her ace Nosepass, who used Harden, and I used Bite. Then it attacked me, and Mawile landed a crit, and after one more turn, we had won. After defeating the Aqua Grunt in Rusturf Tunnel and securing the Devon packages and rescuing Pico, we headed straight for Dewford. After reaching Dewford, I first captured our fourth team member, Aaron, who I aptly named Iron. After delivering the letter to Stephen, Slateport was unlocked for us, and we grabbed some vitamins. After making preparations and levelling my team to the level cap of 18, our fight with Brawly finally began. He sent out Machop, and I sent out Scyther, as it resisted fighting types moves with 4 times. So Machop set up with a few bulk ups while we attacked. Brawly also healed 2 times, so by the time Machop was down, we had lost a lot of health. So when Makuhita came, knowing that we are baiting a knockoff, I sent out Aaron, who resisted the hit. Then I switched to Pineco and traded hits for a long time, where Pineco even fell down to just 4 health. Then I decided to switch back to Scyther, and after a couple of hits, we had won. What a terrifyingly close battle this was. After that was the infamous rival battle at Route 110, where Scyther obliterated May's entire team by himself. First she sent out Wailmer, who I destroyed with a critical hit cut. Then she sent out Numel, who also fell to 2 cuts. Last was Grovyle, who also died to a critical hit cut. Honestly, the silk scarf that I picked from Dewford was really coming in handy for Scyther. Next was Wally, who as usual was a joke, as his Ralts was OHKO'd by Mawile. After that, I made preparations for Watson fight, where I bought a flamethrower TM for Moorville Game Corner and also upgraded my team using vitamins. And now we were ready for our fight against Watson. He sent out Magnemite and I sent out Mawile. Mawile tanked a Thundershock and retaliated with flamethrower, which came just shy of killing it. Watson healed and I clicked flamethrower. Magnemite survived again and used Supersonic, but we hit through the confusion and KO'd it. Next was Voltorb, and Scyther traded hits and got paralysed, but we had Cherry Berry, so we won. Last remaining Mon on Watson's team was the dreaded Magneton, and here I had to make a sacrifice. As much as it pains me, I had no choice but to sacrifice Pineco, as my Scyther would instantly die from Shockwave, and Mawile and Aaron won't be able to switch out if sent in, due to Magneton's ability Magnet Pull. So I sent in Pineco, absent-mindedly clicked self-destruct, and watched Pineco die. Oh God, it pains me to do so. Anyway, I sent in Mawile, who then won the match by landing a critical hit flamethrower. Watson was done, although we did lose on team member in the process. Up next was our fight against Archie on Mount Chimney. On our way to Archie, I managed to grab the TM for Secret Power for Scyther and the TM for Dig for Aaron. I also managed to grab a Skarmory from Route 113, but other than that, our fight with Archie began. He sent out his dog, and I sent out Scyther, who managed to confuse it by landing Secret Powers, and it hit itself in confusion and fainted. Next was Golbat, and I sent out Aaron, who tanked the incoming wing attack, and although Golbat tried to confuse us, I had equipped Aaron with a Persimberry just for that. After that we landed a few rock tombs, and Golbat was down. Last was his ace, Sharpedo, and I sent out Skarmory, who used D-Swift to deal damage. Our held Oranberry also came in clutch here, as without it Skarmory would have died. I decided to risk it, knowing that Archie might heal, and that's just what happened. To save Skarmory, I subbed him out for Scyther, who managed to take the KO. Up next was our fight against Flannery. After reaching Lava Ridge and defeating the Mandatory trainers, I levelled up my team to the level cap and challenged Flannery. I sent out Aaron and clicked Rock Tomb while Slugma set up Sunny Day. And I missed. Now if I missed, Aaron will die. I clicked Rock Tomb again and I missed, but luckily Slugma also missed Overheat, and we finally connected with our third Rock Tomb and code it. Same goes for the second Slugma, and last remaining was Torkoal, and here once again we had to make a sacrifice. None of my Pokémon can take a sun-boosted Overheat from this Torkoal and live to tell the tale. So I sent out Marwal for the last time and saw it faded right in front of my very own eyes. Now that its special attack dropped by 2 stages, I sent in Skarmory, who also got hit with Overheat but no crit, and he survived. I sent in Scyther, who also got hit with Overheat but survived. With Torkoal at -6, I sent in Aaron, who even got paralysed, but Cherry Berry helped Aaron won us the battle by landing a couple of rock tombs. And we had finally won, and came out with only 1 death in this battle. Next was Norman, but before that we had a new encounter, namely Rocks the Matang, from Pokemon Rocks America event. So after levelling up my team to Norman's level cap of 31, I challenged my own father. He sent out his first Slacking, and I sent out Metang, and he also kept putting me in sleep, which was annoying. Norman also healed, so Metang came just short and I had to switch out. I sent Skarmory, who finally managed to defeat it after a couple air cutters. Norman sent out his second Slacking, but he kept going for Focus Punch, so Skarmory managed to defeat it as well. Last was Vigoroth, who was easily dealt with. No deaths in this battle. Up next was Winona, but we also grabbed a Magnemite from New Mauville, who I evolved in Magneton, and by Thief we got Metal Coat off Wild Magnemite, so Scyther evolved too. Aaron also evolved into Lyron. So after Weather Institute quest, we challenged Winona. She sent in Swellow, and Magneton used Shockwave. To avoid any double team shenanigans, Swellow instantly fell, and Winona sent out Altaria. Knowing I was baiting an earthquake, I sent in Skarmory to absorb the hit, as he was immune. So after trading a couple of hits back and forth, Altaria finally fell. And knowing that none of her remaining Pokémon knew any ground-type moves, I sent in Magneton, who obliterated Pelipper, and the following Skarmory as well. Next we went to Mount Pyre, where we saw Archie being colourblind as he crickets up the wrong orb. Then we witnessed Grand Theft Submarine, and went to the Aqua hideout. The only notable fight here was against Aqua admin Matt, and even that was easy, as Magneton one-shot each and every single member of his team, Eheil taking no damage in process. Next, we arrived at Moss Deep, and after completing the gym puzzle, challenged Tate and Lisa. But before that, I levelled up my team to the level cap, which meant we finally got Aggron, and together with the combined effort of Scyther and Aggron, we took down Solrock and Lunatone. Aggron used Metal Claw on Lunatone, while Scissor set himself up with Swords Dance, while Solrock attacked Aggron with Flamethrower. The next turn, Scissor outsped and finished Lunatone before it could even do anything, but then Solrock and landed a Flamethrower, and Scissor, by miracle, just barely hanged on dear life. Aggron then used Metal Claw, and in order to protect Scissor, I switched him out for Skarmory, and Aggron won the match by landing another Metal Claw. Honestly speaking, this was way too close and I should have been more careful. Next, we get Dive TM from Stephen and used it to discover Seafloor Cavern, where our final fight against Archie awaits. After reaching Kyogre's room, we finally begin to fight. Archie sends out his Mightyena and I send out Aggron. We get confused by Swagger, but it backfires on Archie as we land Rock Smash. Archie heals and we hit ourselves in confusion, but after some time we take it out. Then comes Crobat, who we also managed to take with a few rock tombs, or we would have if not for the fact that this stupid bat kept putting me in confusion and flinching me by using Bite. It was so frustrating that when Aggron reached at 4 health and still confused, I clicked Rock Tomb, but luckily Aggron didn't hit himself in confusion and I decided to switch out to Magneton, who immediately picked up the KO by using Thunderbolt. Same goes for the Sharpedo that comes after Archie was defeated. Well, after that, Kyogre yeets itself out of the Seafloor Cavern. After that, Maxie approaches and we all go out to see the calamity that Kyogre brought upon this world. After the evil team leaders leave, Stephen arrives on his Skarmory, presumably, and tells me his Ninja is going to Sootopolis, so that's where we are heading to as well. Luckily, I unlock Sootopolis before Cave of Origin, so we can go there instantly. After reaching there, we meet with Wallace, and I go inside the Cave of Origin. After picking the TM for Earthquake, we come face to face with Kyogre. I use the Master Ball and immediately capture it, as I don't want my entire team to die whilst fighting this monster. Also, this will be our new surfing pet. Sorry, Mudkip. After that is our fight against Wallace. He sends out Love Disc, and I send out Magneton. One Thunderbolt later, Love Disc is dead, so Wallace sends his Whiscash next. Knowing that we are baiting an Earthquake, I send out Skarmory. After that, Whiscash kept setting itself up with Amnesia and Rain Dance while I kept on spamming Air Cutter. Wallace healed, so Fire we could take it out. Skarmory was at 1 health, so I subbed him for Sizor, who tanked an Earthquake, but barely managed to hang on. So we switched again. This time to Metang, who finally took out the Whiscash, but was left at 5 health. But none of Wallace's remaining Pokemon knew any ground-type moves, so just like the fight with Winona, Magneton was free to come and take out the Celio, Seeking, and Milotic as well. However, the fight against Milotic got scary as Magneton was at half health when he took a Surf, and the only reason that we managed to win this fight unscathed was because our Thunderbolt paralysed Milotic, which meant it couldn't outspeed us anymore, and we won. Now, the last hurdle was Pokemon League. This was my team levelled up to match Drake's Salamence that is level 55, and with their final movesets, first was Sydney and I tried to set up with Sizzle by using a couple of Swords Dances, but his dog used Roar and Aggron was forced to come out. After taking care of his dog, I sent out Scizor once again, and this time his Sharpedo gave us Swagger attack boost, And since Scizor was equipped with a cherry berry, so we were out of confusion. But after clicking Sword Stance, we got another swagger boost, so now we were at +6 attack. With this, we managed to take out each and every single member of Sydney's team, and his plan backfired on him so badly that it was laughable. Next was Phoebe, and I had a plan. I taught Metagross Shadow Ball for this exact purpose. The first Dusclops barely managed to hang on with our Shadow Ball and retaliated with a weak Shadow Punch. Phoebe healed while we used Shadow Ball, and this time we crit, so it fell. Next was the second Dusclops, who confused Metagross, but we had a Person Berry. Next was Banette, who fell to a single Shadow Ball. Next was Sableye, who fell to a combination of Meteor Mash and Earthquake. Final Banette died to a single Shadow Ball as well. Next was Glacier, and as you probably guessed it, my Steel-type team took care of her. The first Glalie fell to a single Meteor Mash. Next was Celio, who died from a combination of Psychic, Meteor Mash and Earthquake. The third Celio dies easily, and Walrein managed to hang on after a +1 Meteor Mash and attacked with Surf. So we switched to Magneton and took him down with 2 Thunderbolts. I sent in Aggron to deal with the last Glalie, but Glalie froze him. So at last I sent in Scizor to take care of it. Last remaining Elite Four was Drake. He sent out his Shelgon, and I sent out Aggron. I first hit it with a Rock Tomb so that we can follow up with an Ice Beam, and Drake doesn't heal. He sends his Flygon, who set up Sandstorm, so Aggron got a 50% special defense boost. 1 Ice Beam later, Flygon was down. Drake's third Pokemon was Salamence, who used Flamethrower. But because of the Sandstorm, which was set up by Drake himself, we took the hit, and retaliated with Ice Beam, but Salamence barely managed to hold on. But then he took Sandstorm damage and fainted. His second Flygon came in, but also fell to a single Ice Beam. His remaining Mon was Altaria, who actually lived an Ice Beam, and since now Aggron was at just 21 health, I switched him out for Metagross, who finally won us the match. The last remaining was Steven, and I honestly will let the battle speak for itself. Goodness, what a fight it was. Honesty, Scizor was the MVP of this playthrough. Thanks for watching, and once again, thanks to Keeper and Chaotic for inspiring me to do this challenge at the first place. Bye!